Floor 4 is always empty at night. There are no patients up there. There hasn't been staff assigned to that ward in 6 years. Last Tuesday, something pressed the elevator button from floor 4. I've worked night security at Raven Cross Memorial Hospital for 3 years. Most nights are quiet, the kind of quiet that gets inside your head. Long white corridors, humming fluorescent lights, the distant beep of monitors from the ICU on floor 2, and nothing else. I like the quiet, or I used to. Floor 4 is decommissioned, has been since a renovation plan was abandoned back in 2020. All the beds were moved out, the equipment stripped, the ward locked. Management keeps the lights on a motion sensor to save electricity, so floor 4 is always dark. You'd only see the lights flicker on if something moved up there. For 2.5 years, those lights never came on. The first time I saw them, it was 3:14 a.m. on a Tuesday. I was at the security desk on the ground floor, watching the camera feeds. Floor 4's hallway camera, the only one still working up there, showed the corridor suddenly flood with light. Motion activated. I watched the empty hallway for 2 minutes. Nothing moved. The lights clicked back off. I logged it as a sensor malfunction and went home. The second time was Thursday. Same time. 3:14 a.m. Lights on. Empty hallway. Off again after 90 seconds. I started watching that feed more carefully. By the second week, it was happening every night. Always 3:14 a.m. Always the same hallway segment. Always 90 seconds of light and nothing visible moving. I decided to go up and check. Brought my flashlight, my radio, and told myself it was an animal, a rat or a pigeon that had gotten in. Floor 4 smelled like old antiseptic and cold air, the kind of cold that comes from no heating, not from a window. My flashlight swept the hallway, tile floors, dust, the outlines of empty door frames, nothing. But as I turned to leave, I heard something. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming from the far end of the corridor. Not frantic like an animal, not random, measured, like someone walking with purpose. I spun around and aimed my flashlight at the far end. Nothing was there. The footsteps stopped the moment my light hit the hallway. I left floor 4 and did not go back. That was 2 months ago. Things have changed since then. 3 weeks ago, the elevator, which requires a key card to operate and does not have a call button accessible on floor 4, registered a call from floor 4, not a malfunction. The system log showed a physical button press. I've reviewed the log with the head engineer twice. He has no explanation. 2 weeks ago, I found a wheelchair at the end of the ground floor corridor at 4 a.m. It wasn't there at 2 a.m. No patient had checked in or out. No one had been on that level. The security footage, and I've watched every frame, shows the wheelchair appearing between 3:12 and 3:16 a.m. in a blind spot between 2 cameras. The only blind spot in the building. Last week I heard the intercom on floor 4 activate. The intercoms are disconnected from the hospital system. They've been dead for 6 years. I heard static, and then, very clearly, a voice. It said a name. My name. I have told no one at work because I cannot afford to lose this job. I'm telling you because last night I checked the camera feed at 3:14 a.m., as I always do now. The lights on floor 4 came on as usual, but this time in the hallway camera, I could see a silhouette, tall, thin, standing at the far end of the corridor. It was facing the camera. I sat at my desk and stared at that screen for 90 seconds, not breathing. The lights clicked off. The corridor went dark. When I checked the footage this morning, the timestamp on that segment was corrupted. 14 minutes of recording, gone, only static. I go back to work tonight. 3:14 a.m. is in 4 hours. I'm not going to floor 4. I'm not going to look at that camera. I know it doesn't matter. I know it already knows I can see it.